What's up, everybody? It is Koshade, and we have the Arcane Duels team here. Puddnhead, how are you?
Doing fine.
And Mr. Shark, what is going on?
Good.
And we have
tonight.
a playtesting tournament between some semifinalists. Let's start this game up. Between semifinalist matches. This is a single game elimination, so one of these players is going to be taken out of the tournament after this one, and the one that survives goes on to the championship match. Sir Jason and oh my god, I'm gonna be awful here.
It's Juli.
I've said Juli before, and people have corrected it, but were they trolling? I don't know.
It's Juli.
No,
It's Julian.
Is it Juli?
It's Juli and Juli. He says go by both.
It's everything.
It's
And so
Forcemaster.
looks like Juli in the top left playing the normal Forcemaster using the cool art from the alternative one, which is totally fine, of course.
It's gonna make me. That's gonna throw me off. I'm gonna expect living weapons.
Right,
Instead of
and
force
then
pulls.
in the bottom right here we have SirJasonCrage playing the Straywood Beastmaster.
Two great players. This is gonna be a fun match.
These two players probably some of the best players in the world. Really looking forward to this match.
To be honest, the whole top four is really good compared to people in the world.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. All right, they're in deployment. I'm gonna go ahead and make this ×2.
Absolutely.
So, when you see a Forcemaster, or when you play a Forcemaster and you see a Straywood, what kind of thoughts do you go through your head?
My initial thought is that the Forcemaster is going to have something to deal with the swarm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You can pretty easily control a large pet or a buddy or something, but you have to be able to deal with the swarm of just guard, or getting through all of your defenses just the sheer volume of dice. So you've got to have a plan for either dealing with a spawn point or killing faster than you need to. Otherwise,
Absolutely. And looks like we see in the bottom right corner. Jason just going up to that channel 11, and immediately playing the Mana Lotus as well. And Mana Lotus is such an interesting card I see from so many players, and I'm not convinced it's as good of a play as everyone else thinks it is.
it's for when you need a spike in mana on turn 4.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
And
I don't know.
Mana Lotus is either a throwaway card that you just threw in because you're like, this is going to be cheaper for my opening, or you're looking at a particularly timed engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Think. Oh, they've got Dragonclaw Wolverine coming out, one of the new creatures,
And with a pet.
and we are seeing a bear coming out of the Forcemaster.
So this is actually a really famous book out of Juli.
Yep.
He usually plays this Steelclaw Grizzly, and oftentimes you see a Vampirus come with it. And it's basically super aggressive, but it also has a longer gameplay. So I'm really curious how Jason's going to deal with this sort of thing.
And one of the things that, since we're in Octagon, we can metagame this a little bit. One of the things I find particularly interesting about this book is if you look at Jason's book, I bet there's probably in the range of 60 cards, and there are 61 remaining, so add another 5 that he's played already. Look at Juli's.
44 cards.
We're looking at 44 cards, which is weird from a perspective of most of the competitive books are between 60 and 75. This one runs really low, but runs it really, really well.
Yeah, Juli
You're
definitely.
going to get that with Forcemasters that rely on heavy creatures because they cost triple for them. So that Grizzly Bear is 1/10 of his spellbook.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Juli is really good at this book because its timing, the power spike he gets up from it, is insanely hard to deal with. So if Jason can make it past, he'll probably have a pretty good chance of winning. And there's the Vampirus coming out. And I want to point out that Dragonclaw Wolverine, probably the only rage creature I'd actually consider running. I'm sure most people would agree with that. Because he's actually really good. When you use something like a pet on him, going up to 3 armor, 16 life, That really lets him like stack that armor up. He gains the counter strike at 3+ rage. Not to mention the other in-school things to raise his life up. It can be pretty scary to deal with.
Using him as a guard is also very effective, and using him as a pet is even better. He's going to
definitely
have
adds
an
to his
insane
thing there.
amount of armor on that creature when he starts taking damage.
Yeah, so he's got
I would
3
not be
already, and if he takes it,
surprised,
it'd be
yeah,
more.
if Sir Jason is going to rely on the Packmaster's cowl to keep that Wolverine guarding all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that 8-up bleed, pretty deceptive as well. Because, you get him up to 6 or 7 dice, which right now he's at 5 in the Beastmaster zone. 8-up bleed. That
Ooh, got rid
scary.
of the bear strength off of the Vampirus there. Nice Seeking Dispel.
That was a great pick.
Getting that Vampirus to 7 dice is really impressive. What kind of survivability it gives her.
Mm-hmm.
So nuking that bear strength was a good move.
And I do want to point out that the Asp is coming out, and this is actually just a solid card to say, like, I might be able to beat you in the long game by just weakening all your things and making sure you're rolling less dice. I wouldn't put it past... I mean, honestly, when it comes to Dark Fiend Asp, Badger Frenzy, I actually find really effective, just because you look at it as a small investment. You're probably not going to get much damage, but if you get 1 or 2 weeks because you spent that 1 spellbook point, it's permanent. So you compare it to like Agony, it's actually not that bad of a trade.
So, question for you guys: if you're the Forcemaster, you have Force Push in school, 1 spellbook point. Would you Force Push that Asp into the wall, or would you think that was a waste?
I think
I probably would push it.
I think it'd be worth it.
I would probably push it.
Yeah, there's probably a Mage Bane from Juli.
We see another Grizzly Bear come out. This one, a Beastmaster one.
Might be a Rust too.
Fighting fire
I
with
would
fire.
not be surprised if it's a Rust.
So we've got 2 big creatures on each side, and then enchantments from Juli, and then also an Asp as a sort of a Beastmaster perspective of how am I going to influence the battlefield. And Juli pays 9 mana, teleports the Beastmaster. And that Beastmaster's open for the killing now. 2 armor. Bear comes in, piercing 1, 5 dice. Did we see a bear strength on a bear?
We don't currently. Ooh, that's an awkward roll there too.
There's a whiff.
Rolling 1 damage. Double move on the Asp.
The snake is running.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, this is where the book gets really dangerous, though, is because you have 2 big creatures attacking a target of your choice, because the Forcemaster is particularly good at making sure that the manipulation of the positions works out, that they can just keep getting hits in. This is going to pay off in the long run, even if he does roll pretty poorly in the first round of it happening.
Yeah, the teleport gank is like a tried and true method, and I think this is why Juli's book is so good, because it just says, I'm going to gank you. Can't do anything about it. I will point out that as time goes by, those sorts of things are like in the moment kind of good, but that does give Jason a chance to catch back up. Uh-oh.
So after that teleport gank, I would now expect that card on Sir Jason is an Enfeeble.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because like there's sort of like an interesting dynamic between the two, because does Jason now use teleports and force pushes to run away, or does he try and hold his ground and send his creatures in? I mean, this could certainly be a nullify.
That's true.
Okay, we are in deployment. And there's a dissolve going down in the kite.
So that is not a Rust on Sir Jason, I'm guessing.
And we're going to see what that card was, because, of course, my mouse always wants to look at the card, and there it gets revealed. Chant of Rage on the Juli's Bear. We're seeing a Rage token go, on
the
Dragonclaw, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I thought it was the pet, but turned out to be right anyway. 5 dice coming in. 5 damage rolled.
Hey, look, it's back to average.
Now, here's the thing.
Oh, he's running this way because he wants the bear to go the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good of him to do that because if he had waited until Juli was able to manipulate where things were, actually, it's not going to save him. All Juli has to do is pull the Wolverine into where the Forcemaster is.
So Juli moves his Forcemaster to the left, and then Force pulls the bear to the left, meaning he move up one.
And then he moves toward the Wolverine, but then guards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because he was hindered.
Yeah.
And if anyone doesn't know, if you're not hindered, you actually have to move again.
Yes, that's how Chant of Rage works.
And, there is
trying to get a
guard.
weak on the vampire.
There is a guard in the zone.
Oh yeah, trying to get a weak on the bear.
And can the defense work? Does not get a weak. Gets a damage.
I mean, it's a damage. It's something that you don't necessarily expect.
He'd sneak.
That is bear food.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, I probably would have attacked the Forcemaster in that case. I don't know if that was worth throwing.
That's what happens to all of my asps too. They just fail the defense and die.
I stop attacking. Honestly, I stop attacking guards because of that. Unless you want to get rid of the guard for something else. Maybe that's what he wanted to do. Is just get rid of that bear guard because it's his initiative.
I think he wants the bear to come attack his Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. And times 25 this. All right. This is actually a really
use
cool
his
game.
creatures first. All right, so that Mana Lotus just went off, right?
Yep. Jason's at 12 mana. Juli's at 13. I want to point out that the teleport trap was really nice because it worked on a mage. The Chant of Rage, super nice because it kind of works like teleport, except in a longer game way. Granted, it has restrictions, but it's sort of like influencing the board movement-wise in a lot of cool ways. Like I was talking about how teleport's more of a direct in your face right now.
Tanglevine the Mage.
Stay there. Just in time for the bear to come in and swipe at him.
Yeah, so he is going to be restrained, which that gives a -2 to your defenses.
Yep.
So when you think about paying a mana for a 7-up, now it's a 9-up. A little scary. Not to mention if the Wolverine moves in first, the bear has to waste his whole action. Well, I guess he could move in the bear.
There's a mind control on the Steel Claw Grizzly.
Interesting. The stun token goes down. I almost feel like... I wonder if this bear is going to be attacking itself or trying to kill the Beastmaster.
I would attack the Wolverine. Break the guard.
For sure.
I don't know. It is attacking into a pet Wolverine.
Yeah, but they're killing each other.
Yeah, right.
Fair. I'm just feeding the Wolverine. I think he's still going to eat a 5 dice piercing one attack fairly well.
Yeah.
And so just buffing the pet Wolverine when now it's his only option. I don't know. I could see it being, if you're prepared for it, I guess it could work. Let me put it that way. But I can also see it being dangerous.
It could also just be, I'm going to keep the bear from hitting me this turn until I can get rid of this Tanglevine.
That's actually a good point as well. So, I mean, the upkeep is, of course, 4, which, when you think about it, actually isn't that bad.
For a bear?
For a bear, yeah.
Not bad at all.
Like, bears are probably one of the better level 4 creatures. Up there with, like, Dorceus, stuff like that.
Truth. I would agree.
So he moves the Vampiress into his zone instead of...
I wonder if it's a stab for a guard.
They actually should change the token here, because now this is actually a... Oh, they did. Never mind.
Yeah, they did.
So this is what I was saying last time. All he had to do was force pull the bear so that when the bear moved toward the Wolverine, he would be able to hit the Beastmaster.
That's a big hit, though, too.
That was incredibly smart.
That was a great play by Juli.
Mm-hmm.
It was also a big hit.
This is why I love force pull. Force pull is so flexible.
Yeah.
15 damage out of 36. Really nice.
Yeah.
That's scary for Jason.
That's a good play for it, too. So.
Regrowth Belt's an interesting play, because now you can't play Cal.
I'm not sure he cares that much about a cowl when he's got 15 damage on now.
Cowl is helmet and cloak.
Oh, that's right. It's not even built.
Oh, is it? I thought it was... Oh, no. You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the Necromancer one. That's, Belt's main armor. Yeah, my bad.
No, you're right. Oh, you're right about it being Necro, not this
Yeah,
one, so.
yeah. I got that mixed up for weird reasons.
Just because we don't see them very often either way.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we see the Necro one all the time now, but that's kind of cool.
He is going to Arcane Ward the mind control or decoy it. Probably
Really
Arcane Ward, though.
Just a future tip for those who are watching and would like to not have to deal with Octagon's stupid quirks. Just attach it to the bear. It's fine. You just tell everybody it's attached to the enchantment, but attach to the bear and it'll move around with you. I can't make it attached to enchantments right now because there's too much of a rabbit hole to go down.
Here we go. The defense gets used. Cobra Reflexes
Man,
fails.
he didn't get it again. But this one's a much lower roll. Wow.
Much better roll. This time the brace himself getting revealed.
Between the two attacks, he's rolled 11 dice and has now rolled effectively 11 damage on the dice. So while this one looks a lot lower, that's about even for the two bear attacks.
Mm-hmm. They need to remove this rage token.
Yeah, I need to move the hate token.
Full of hate.
He's going to stay there and guard.
Yeah, what is he going to do?
He's going to move in and guard. He's going to move in and attack the bear.
He's going the offensive. Okay, 5 dice. Looks like there is a divine
protection. Nice.
There is a bleed from this. And 4 dice getting piercing 1 versus 3 armor, rolling, 3 damage. It's not bad.
All right, 4 damage off the bear there.
Brace yourself is, of course, here, so it only gets 1 damage through him.
No, that's true. Crit damage. It doesn't care about you or brace yourself.
And a great roll from the
max damage on that bear.
Punch. Yeah.
Punching that bear in the nose.
Symbiotic Orb coming out.
This is one of those cards that...
That's a good one there, yeah. Ooh, the Vampire's doing a lot of work, too. So these 2 strong creatures, this is why this book is particularly nasty, right? He's got 2 strong creatures inherently in the book. He stole another one.
Yep.
Jason's looking a bit rough right now.
And I want to point out that Juli, this Symbiotic Orb is perfect. He can literally block anything strong coming at his face that's melee. Or his creatures, for that matter.
Yep. Symbiotic Orb is an amazingly good spell. Now, he is going to be working off of about 3 mana a turn because of that, though.
That's true.
Says he's paying for the mind control, 4, and he's paying 3 every time he wants to prevent an attack.
I do want to point out that Symbiotic Orb is one of those spells that, spellbook point wise, you save a lot if you consider like blocks or brace yourself, things like that. This is like a really solid like one-off kind of thing.
You save actions, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
That as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the fact that it's just 1, super good.
Now, if you are slammed or otherwise incapacitated, the Symbiotic Orb does not work because it's a defense that your mage has that you can extend to something else. So if your mage is incapacitated, you cannot use this defense.
Beastmaster starts out. Retreats a little bit.
Decides he doesn't want to be there anymore.
Regrowth Belt is working, by the way. Let's see, it's second chant of
Another
rage.
chant of rage, and it's going back on the Wolverine there.
Purge Magic goes down. Brilliant play.
Or get around the Arcane Wood there.
Really smart play.
Yeah, great play.
This, of course, is going to get a stun marker now. Purge Magic is, I recommend 1 in every book. If you guys are new to the game or struggling a lot to deal with those mass enchantment books. Purge is so good, and it's so easy to overlook or find those spell points. But really, I recommend just putting it in your book for a while. You'll always find a use. I almost guarantee it. What's their version of the Warlord?
Yeah, Warlord might not want to run it. However, I have had a Warlord use it against me. And it was very
Awesome.
surprising and very effective.
Looks like
Cobra Reflex is doing work.
Avoiding one, not avoiding the other. You know.
It's a 50% chance. So
Yeah,
far he's
yeah.
at 33, right?
Yeah, I mean, Cobra's nice. It's one of those spells that I think is a little expensive, but I mean, think about it. He just saved 5 dice, maybe more. That could be a bear strength. Let me see the guard go down. This is a bleeding bear. Will he attack in? Yeah, he will.
He
He
has to.
has to.
I think
Yeah,
he's trying
you're
to
right.
get. Oh, there's Chant Rage too. I was thinking he has to try to get something out of it.
I was rolling a little bit below, but still about average, considering this is 3 armor.
Needs to get a rage token. There you go.
Perfect. This is exactly what you want in your Wolverine. He just gained melee 1. He's rolling 5. Because of Aegis.
Boy, that bear is at 11 damage and has bleed on it.
I almost wonder. Oh, Juli is still Tanglevine. Ah,
Yep.
interesting.
He's going to reveal a regrowth on the bear, and because it's Octagon, he's going to do a damage to the bear so that the regrowth functions properly and brings him to 10.
Yep. Using one of that to remove a bleed. Really solid play there.
Hey, look, there's a wild cushion that appeared.
Hey. Yeah, this is a lot of investment in this bear, and it really might benefit Jason just to spike down this 5 damage he needs. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a boulder just to kill it.
Boulder might do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Has a decent chance, but you'd want to combo it with a Wolverine attack, probably.
It's Aegis 1, for sure.
It's an interesting board setup here. That regrowth belt's already doing quite a bit of work.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Even if you only get
got it on. He got it on when he was at half health.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still at half, though.
Yep, and it's maintained his position.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's for 6 mana, it's
you've got 6 health left.
It's a really nice combination because he is saying, you know what? These are big dudes. Armor really isn't going to help me. So I better just dodge half the attacks and just accept the rest of the damage. I mean, through Chant of Wage, of course, he's also blocking those big hits. He's just doing a really good job of just, like, deflecting the attacks so they can't hit his mage.
But Juli is planning on using that orb this turn to dodge a bear attack.
I would definitely try to kill this bear. Like, whatever happens, going up 1 armor. I'm a little surprised he went up in armor.
It's going to help him against the Vampirist.
There's the dodge.
Oh, he dodged. So there you go.
Maybe because he assumed that bear's going to attack Wolverine. There's a teleport.
He's going to teleport and get rid of the Tanglevine.
No. That's
Screw
awful.
that Tanglevine.
Now Symbiotic Orb has its effects in the zone.
Yep.
Here comes the bear. Will he pay 3 mana? Yep. Nope. He does not do that.
Oh, no. So, another thing of note. Octagon. I can't speak today. Sorry, guys. Octagon automation. If you would like to automate the Symbiotic Orb, attach it to your mage.
I love it.
Just saying. You can attach that card, specifically that card, to your mage, and it will prompt you to use either mana or dissipate tokens to block an attack. You'll have to manually remove the dissipates, but mana will go away on its own.
So when you say attach, you mean like put it on like an enchantment?
Yeah, just act like it's an enchantment. It'll work.
Oh,
It'll
this
absolutely
was a
work like that.
smart move.
Care to recap because I was talking about Octagon.
Dragon Claw moving to the left, forcing the bear to have to move to the left, and that also forced Juli to have to move back left as well in order to keep that orb in the bear zone. He really wants to protect that bear, But now this bear can go back into the bear zone and do a smackdown. And this is why I don't think he should have done boots here, because he could have attacked with this bear, quick cast.
Divine reversal.
Nice play.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Rolls 2 damage. Removes 4 because it's a divine reversal. You block 3, 2, 2, and 2. Yeah.
And then he prevents the counterattack.
Yep. Pays 3 mana. Brilliant play out of Juli then. And the meteorite goes down, trying to kill this bear. Rolls 8 dice, gets 6 damage, only 3 of that sticking to that bear. Oh, oof. No.
That does not feel good.
Ugh. That's why he didn't do it during his quick cast, because he needed a full action. Interesting. Lots of stuff going on there. Just brilliant plays out of both players, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know about the meteor. Seems like a lot of mana.
If he killed that bear, he might have actually just won the game right there.
I don't know. I wouldn't say one, but it would definitely put him in a much stronger position. Like, the position on the board right now would be completely different.
Yeah, like, I want to know how many more creatures Juli has, I guess, before I really commit to that.
Yeah. But that being said, it would have been a huge swing. Let's put it that way, too.
And one more rage token on this Wolverine, and he's got Counter-Strike. The bear regrowthing down at 9. Jason, not at the half life anymore.
Yep, regrowth belt still working.
Man, Symbiotic Orb on the Counter-Strike, so good. Like, that's just such a good play to do.
So what's interesting right now is I'm wondering if Juli can actually afford the mana to keep the orb. Sorry, the card that I'm looking at, the orb. I'm like, I can't scroll over it. I wonder if he'd afford to keep using that.
I would actually,
because that's a pretty big mana tax for once a turn, but it could be huge if he gets creature advantage, right? Right now it's about even with 2 relatively strong creatures on each side plus the mages. But if he can eliminate either the Wolverine or the bear and keep his, then it becomes really hard to swing it back the other direction.
Well, the interesting thing about the regrowth play is that it's made Sir Jason ignore the vampire to try and spike the bear down. And all Juli's had to do is protect the bear.
That's fair too.
Arguably the vampirist would be a much easier target to destroy in one go, because
in one go, I would agree.
You put rust on the vampirist and then you attack her 3 times.
That being said, she's also a fairly tough creature. Like 15 life is no joke.
That's true, but you can get rid of her armor much easier than you can get rid of the bear's armor.
That's also true. And with
Juli
attackers. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think Juli is somewhat famous for running Brace Yourself to keep his creatures alive too. So it might be that Sir Jason knows that.
The additional part to that I would like to add is that both creatures Jason's running have piercing as well, so that'll help. Oof! There you go. Now it's almost an even game.
Ooh, yeah. This is a crazy game.
Yeah, this is far from over. Everybody, strap yourselves in.
Yeah, no kidding.
Nuts. Like almost even across the board in terms of positioning, in terms of stuff on the board, in terms of damage on creatures, and like this is a great game.
This might be one of the best games I've seen at Mage Wars, honestly. Because it's so close right now. And like either of them could be winning or losing this at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Juli's at 11 mana. Jason at 3.
Yeah, I wonder how much.
That's a big play.
That is. Because I wonder if he's going to start targeting the bear now and have basically try to kill bear this turn.
And if they stay in the zone to attack the Beastmaster, this Wolverine gets another +1, and the defend out of Cobra.
Wow, those Cobra reflexes are doing work.
It's got what, +1, I think now.
It missed the first couple, but now it's been paying off big.
It's got 3 out of 4.
No, I think it missed the first two, so I think it's roughly even.
So it's about even. Okay. And that makes
3
sense.
out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Maybe
So
3 out of
it's
5,
still
yeah.
not. It's still not super wacky.
No, it's not wacky. It's
Oh,
just
Total clutch
jeez.
on the bear.
speaking of clutch, that's not clutch.
That's.
That's brutal.
I mean, it's
man.
really going back and forth on just like, well, okay,
Yeah.
you know,
Everything seems to be working out in
Yeah.
the house, right?
retreating Forcemaster
Interesting. Wonder what
Chant.
this is.
Oh, it's
a
own
chant
chant.
of rage. All right.
on the Forcemaster. Okay. Choosing to move.
And now he's got to go get the Forcemaster. I wonder if that's going to leave.
There's no orb.
I'm sure there's no orb, but Juli's
Oh,
taking
it
a
goes
hit. Like,
through. No armor.
this is the first hit though, so
Does get a bleed.
that's not too bad. Oh, and the regrowth belt goes
Regrowth
down.
belt is gone. Brilliant plays out of everything.
I was thinking Juli
wow.
wanted to do. Oh,
8
geez.
damage on the
There's a lot
Beastmaster.
happening here. Okay, so my initial thought was Juli was bringing him over to spike down the Wolverine because he's got 6 damage on him already. But then I realized that's dumb because he has like 1 million armor right now.
He's got
He's
5.
just pulling him out of the way.
Yeah, 6 armor and still has 10 health left.
Right. So he's just pulling him out of the way to get the Vampirist and the Bear to start swinging on the Beastmaster, who no longer has that regrowth.
Yeah, it's a good thing Jason healed, because otherwise he would be in
Very
more
close to
trouble.
dead.
Yeah.
What did he
I
heal?
still
9
think it's
damage?
Yeah, 9.
So he would have been at 23. Yeah, that's a dangerous
Going
place.
right to creature actions. The failed Cobra. 9 damage on this. Holy cow.
Wow.
Great rolls out of Hui.
Just like that, the Beastmaster's back for 23 damage.
Yeah. Here we go. Surging Wave goes down against the Vampires. Gets a slam, gets the push, gets 2 damage. He might try to spike down this vampire right now. Gets another damage from the push. Very nice. Looks like the Forcemaster's trying to help out. Moving in. Iron Vine.
Putting
Okay.
on an Iron Vine. Okay.
There is still a chance, so that does make a lot of sense. He's just trying to mitigate stuff. There's, of course, piercing 1, but, you know. Bear's going to attack this other bear. Rolling just not well.
This is the other direction for him. Oof.
Okay, we have a dazed vampire that does
the
fumble.
daze helps. The daze helps.
Probably trips over this giant Wolverine, just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
While landing.
And another attachment.
Stacking them up.
Here goes the Wolverine attacking the...
If he gets another bleed, it might get interesting.
Yeah, it's right. This regen is really good for getting rid of bleeds. A failed defense. Another bleed.
Another bleed and a lot of damage on this one. So
8 rolled. Another bleed. Very nice roll.
yeah. I wonder if that's a dissolve waiting. No, he's got 3 minutes. No, sorry, I'm looking at Juli. Jason might actually have enough dissolve on that. What am I trying to call it? Iron Vine. Man, I am blanking on words today.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he's got
guys.
6. No, you're fine. This
I'm all over the place.
2
right now.
hits from this Wolverine. 13 damage. Crazy.
That Wolverine has been rolling well enough for both him and the bear.
Here we go. An enchantment going down to the Forcemaster.
Mage Bane. Ooh, Mage Bane gets revealed. Oh, that's what it was. So Mage Bane got revealed. Poison Blood got revealed on the Forcemaster.
So that
There we
bleed
go.
is going to be sticking.
Yep.
2 bleeds.
Yep.
And Mage Bane, when you're at 23, 24 out of 36, that's scary. It's just 2 hits away from death.
So what's the first one? I wonder.
I'm guessing this is a rest. Or, I don't know, actually, now that I think about it. Maybe he just hasn't had the mana to really work whatever he's trying to do with that. We're moving along in these phases here. Beastmaster uses quick cast. So we're going to see a teleport go down. Very smart play. Just getting out of dodge. He is going to take a damage from that. Because of Mage Bane.
Because Mage Bane.
Of course,
This is
Channel
rare.
Rage. Oh, the bear is going right for the Forcemaster. We'll probably see a dodge here. We'll see a Force Shield go down. And a failed defense. And it looks like Force Shield isn't calculating.
Which is weird. I can't replicate that because it works when I do it.
Maybe because he revealed it after. He might
No, he does it later and it doesn't work either. I checked. This is one of the ones I skipped out just to see that part, and it worked. I don't know
rolls
what happened.
below average on the second one. Unfortunate. And we have a guarding bear here.
So at this point, what would you do with the Vampiress? Would you run after the Beastmaster, or would you try and kill his creatures?
I would probably kill creatures.
Yeah, I find
depends.
I find a lot of times when you try to like split your creatures up, one of the creatures kind of dies. And I almost wonder if that's what Jason wants. Okay, we're gonna see an aggressive Wolverine go after this vampire.
I think you're right. Splitting the damage is probably the wrong way to go about it.
He just cannot roll average.
Don't care, man.
But he is rolling bleed, so I would say that's probably an acceptable.
Roll average here, yeah.
You know,
he's gonna move in and force pull. Yep, and he's gonna go after the Beastmaster.
Really smart move here, but it is of course his move now. Probably should have waited. Nice quick cast to pull. Okay, this is a little bit of a slip up. Because you might as well put this enchantment on you.
If he had moved, I mean, he had to move his mage, right? And if he had moved closer and not used force pull, then Sir Jason would have been out of range of the Vampiress for the next round too.
That's actually a really good point. I guess it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. The other part is it's interesting also the switch targets, right? So the bear with regrowth is no longer being spiked. Now it's the Vampiress is probably the best target. That might actually ultimately be in the long run an issue for Jason.
Well, I think the regrowth succeeded at keeping that bear alive long enough that Sir Jason was like, I can't deal with this anymore. I have to do something else.
We're at 24 out of 36 for the Beastmaster. 20 out of 32 with 2 bleeds on the Forcemaster. Still anyone's game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Both 12 away from death.
Crazy. And the Force Hammer. Kind of the Vampiress. Great move here. 6 dice getting rolled 7 damage.
That's going to be enough. No, it's one short.
One short.
But he does get the slam.
Yep. Slam
He's going to get a daze. 1 armor versus 5 dice. Oh, it misses. Brilliant play. We're going to see a punched out.
I don't think I'd punch it. At this point, the blade will do it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, just leave it alone.
Yeah. That's a rough round for Juli there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if the Wolverine gets another attack.
Wolverine's coming in.
Oh, buddy.
Guessing we're going to see a failed defense roll. 6 dice coming in. 7 damage rolled. No, there is 1 armor.
No, it's piercing.
You know what? They have to reroll.
It's because of Force Shield. Still 3 with a bleed.
A bleed again? I gotta say, they're both actually.
Oh, they didn't know the first roll either way. Wait, can you hover over the Dragon Claw Wolverine real quick? Oh, it's an 8+ bleed. They kept the first effect roll and then they used the second dice. So that's still good.
4 dice against bear.
Hey, the bear's coming back.
A counter strike.
Oof.
5 dice. That it's painful.
Oh my god. There's so much carnage.
Yeah, this is a crazy match. Another enchantment goes down the Beastmaster.
Jason has to be real careful here too because the Mage Bane is going to him in the I have 11 life left.
Oh, but he chooses the boulder instead. Fails the Cobra. 7 dice getting rolled. There is 1. There is a rust revealed. That was a rust.
7 damage to the face.
32 out of 36. Juli only at 20. He's going to go to 25 out of 32. Remember, there is a Mage Bane that can get scary when it comes to
especially right now. Yeah.
In your later stages.
It's not even just later stages. It's you're low on. Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry, I think in later stages of the game, like he's low on life. It's more that than
exactly. And what is this Beastmaster gonna do? Do you punch?
What do you do?
Do you punch the beast? He's gonna.
I think you.
I probably would.
This is a mistake.
I think this is a mistake. I would probably have punched I would have gone in and punched, especially based
It's
on
a demonic bloodlust.
oof, especially based on
Harsh.
the fact that Jason will have the initiative next round.
Yep.
I would have either punched the Forcemaster or got the heck out of dodge. Standing where he is probably not what I would have done.
He's got 0 armor, regen 2. He does have Cobra.
Oh, yeah. I said the reason I would have not stayed where he is.
Oh no.
Ooh. So the reason I would have not stayed where he is that you'll hit 4 mana. That's enough for a rock. But you either go in and commit to it or you get the hell out of dodge.
Yeah.
Right? It wouldn't have changed much because he would have done the Unholy Reversal, but still, with that in mind, like that could have been ending it right there. So Jason's going to be at 1. He's going to add some damage here probably. But yeah, that's rough.
35 out of 36 for Jason. 25 out of 32 for Juli. He needs to heal, or this Mageman's going to kill him. I almost feel like punching the Forcemaster. Well, he would have done 2 dice. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess.
He puts you right next to that bear, too. I don't know if you really want to be in there.
Yeah, I mean,
with initiative, I would throw something like a Surging Wave at the Forcemaster and probably. I actually no. I would just go for the ending. Just end it. Shoot him with a Surging Wave and throw a boulder at him.
Yeah, Surging Wave and then main action boulder. That would be a good way to kill him.
Because he has 13 mana.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, he only has 1 life from death, though, so he would die from the...
The other option, I guess, is Force Pull. Or not Force Pull, sorry, Guard.
I'm always wondering, like, just trying to force a draw would also be a good call.
Yeah. Well, okay, he has to heal first. So he does have to heal first. That is something I didn't take into account with my previous comment.
Rolls 6 on 8 dice.
Effectively because of Mage Bane.
This opens up Juli to a really nice combo here.
Ooh. He gets away from the animals.
He still has 2 bleeds, though.
No, I'm not saying he's safe, but it does prevent... Unless Jason brought a teleport.
That was a smart move. All right, Bear's just going to go after Bear.
There it is. 4 damage on a bear.
4. That's not bad.
Terrible. Not great, not terrible. 3.6 Runkin.
Put him back out at 11.
He's going to drag the Wolverine away.
If the Wolverine attacks him.
I don't see why you don't at this point. Because if Juli
you'll probably kill it, right?
Not necessarily. If Juli was going to kill you, he would have done it. And I think... what's that going to do? Because he has initiative next turn. Juli's initiative next turn.
Juli's going to move down. Target's poison blood.
Yeah.
Is this I
would probably have gone after the bear just as more insurance, right? And then I would run my Beastmaster right away from that. Just get away. Get range 3. Something.
Range 3 doesn't make you safe necessarily.
Well, you know you're going to regen 2.
But it might give you a little bit of time. You could protect yourself from the quick cast.
Is he not going to move?
Wait, what?
He didn't move.
No.
Did he do nothing?
Maybe he's got a plan for next round. Maybe he's going to try to throw at him. He might have a plan.
At least move 2 up here if you're not going to cast anything. Maybe he wants a surging or something. But it is Juli's initiative.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Juli's initiative, I probably would have moved.
We're going to see Jason go down to 28. And we're going to see Juli go to, 26? Because he has regen 1.
That is fair. He does have a decent...
Or no, he's going to go to 27. Because, stop.
He'll regen 1.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, but does he want to use the regen to get rid of a bleed? Not heal.
Yeah.
Oh, was he at 26 already? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I misread it. I was at 25.
No, he's at 25.
Yeah,
right,
so
the bleed shouldn't happen.
1 bleed shouldn't happen.
Right. Sorry, I think I'm confusing.
Yeah,
we're on the same page. I'm just totally saying the wrong thing.
It's all good.
I'm just so shocked.
This is tense, man.
Yeah, this is such a good game.
This is a fantastic game. I will note that just because I wouldn't have done something doesn't make it a mistake. But
absolutely.
I still probably would have double moved the hell away from the Forcemaster.
Well, whenever it's their initiative, you always have to worry.
That's what I mean.
And granted, he has Cobra reflexes, but you don't want to bank your whole game on that Cobra.
And that's also fair.
Like, bank it on a range 2 where you know that's at least not going to hit you.
Or a range 3.
Or range 3, yeah. Like, make him move into the Wolverine zone.
Oh, well, he's going to do it for you. Well, that's an interesting play I didn't see coming.
You know, I was actually wondering if he should have
killed the bear, by the way.
Yeah, you know, that's really... Is he going to pay a token?
Probably. This is why I would have killed the bear. Because at this point, the Wolverine is would be in the bottom zone to be a dead bear, and then you can get your dudes into his zone, and you can basically try to manipulate that, right? Now he's got 2 creatures, and that's significantly worse, especially when one's regenerating, and it's a bear.
And Jason's going to casually get closer.
Go for it. Ooh.
Cast a spell. Ooh, I don't think he should have gotten closer at all. This is like, and he's going to target the Iron Vine.
That's why. He wants that bleed to work.
I mean, okay, that actually makes sense.
He's also off and gets rid of one.
And so he's also got initiative next turn. So this play makes sense, and this has been fixed. I promise, guys.
He's like,
I fixed this. I promise. It works now.
Okay, we are going into the next phase.
It worked on my computer. If you guys have something different, know that.
This game.
Dude, this is nuts. I love it. So the gap right now is going to be what, 9 life for Jason, and Yuli's going to have 4, 5.
Yeah.
Dude, this is close.
No regrowth revealed. This is such a tense game.
I will make a point. If he revealed regrowth, there is a big Forcemaster spell that he cannot reveal. So
that's fair.
He doesn't have the mana to do both. So that makes sense.
We see the Nightshade Lotus go down.
That's cool.
I love that. This is one of the nature tricks in the game.
Yeah.
Just putting something to sleep. Also, it's a Forcemaster trip, but the Lotus is particularly good. So good at just like saying that's not going to guard anymore.
Yeah.
Here we go. The Wolverine going after the Forcemaster.
Can he do it?
He fails the defense.
He also rolls really poorly.
Rolls poorly, but gets 2 damage. 29. He could have just won the game right there if it just would have rolled average. That's insane.
Close to dang.
That's crazy.
That is not going to wake the bear up.
A Tomb Guardian waking him up. He does get Daze waking up.
Yeah.
But he still gets a guard then.
Yeah.
But we still get a bear attack here.
And the Tomb Guardian, he's still
Tomb Guardian is guarding.
So
because of that priority.
He removed the dissipate.
That was a really smart move.
That was a great move.
That is why you put Tomb Guardian in there.
It is.
Yep.
And this is why I would have killed the bear previously.
And
just another data point for that.
Oh, dude, I would love to see a rock. He has 3 mana. Oh my god, 3 mana.
He's moving back. What's he gonna do?
He's gonna enchant something.
Please come with a Mage Bane. Do a Mage Bane.
What are we gonna see here? Another this won't attach. It's fine. This is actually a really nice set. Actually, I know this is weird, but I actually would have loved to have seen this Lotus just attack the Forcemaster almost.
Yeah, just extra 3 dice.
Yeah, I mean honestly, like
that's fair. That would be interesting for sure.
Because he had the opening, right?
Because if he hits him, look at that. If he hits him, he could do between roughly 2 and 4 damage, right? And if he gets only 2, the bleed is still going to do the damage.
Yeah.
That's a fair point there too. I mean, that being said, the guard play was good in the context.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
The bear finally.
That bear does die to a really
annihilated. Wow.
That survived so much. That regrowth.
I mean, that's kind of so good, but what is going on here? Oh shit.
Okay, well, he has a rust on him. It's going to be Forcemaster. This is over. This is over.
He's got initiative next turn.
Oh no! If this doesn't kill him right now, you're just going to see another one.
It didn't kill him.
Oh, it didn't. Well, I mean, he did have to roll pretty well, but
no, he had to roll average.
Yeah, you're right.
Average roll that didn't work.
Oh my god! But this is why you set it up when you get initiative, because you get the second.
Yeah. JasonCrage has got another poison blood. Oh, it's going to be a 2 Oh my god, he's got 2 left.
This is such a good game.
Oh.
But I think it's over.
Oh, man. I think, barring the worst roll that we have seen today.
Yeah, exactly.
Which technically is possible.
Yeah, we have had both sides just botch tons of rolls.
I mean, on 10 dice, if he rolls only 2 damage, there's a shit chance that Jason can kill you here.
Yeah.
Ugh. What a great game.
And
What
you
a
know, it's
great
interesting
game.
is like statistically, Jason could have won this.
Yeah,
And statistically, Juli should have won this. And there it is. Yeah.
yeah, a couple. It could have been any of a couple different ways. I think that was great plays on all sides.
The Wall of Thorns play.
Again, my preference would have been to kill the bear a couple turns ago instead of running after the Forcemaster. I think that's obviously with hindsight. So my hindsight is telling me that in the moment it may not have been an easy choice, but I think eliminating the bear would have given you a long-term potential to do other things with your creature's attack. Like you could have combined them to hit Juli one more time, right? So that Tomb Guardian would have been nice, but you would have gotten 2 more hits on the mage, or 1 more hit on the mage, excuse me, and that may have been enough. Like,
I could see
so
that.
with the benefit of hindsight, that's probably what I would have done.
I think there's like a lot of really interesting plays. Oh, is that Force Field?
Yeah, that's fixed. I
probably
fixed it. Problem is the way it was written is looking for strictly Forcemaster, and now this guy's Hellion Forcemaster, so it's fixed.
Force Field would have also been a great play.
Force Field was a good play. I think he would have had to reveal it and use it, which would have left Jason alive because Juli could not have afforded the Wall of Thorns push. Yeah. So that goes back to the whole kill the bear thing. And I don't mean to keep harping on it, but I think that's
actually agree.
A very small thing that could have changed the game, and that was an insanely good game.
I mean, I even think that if you put that poison blood on the bear, that actually would have also helped him win.
That would have been an interesting idea there too. Like, there's a couple ways. I think eliminating and getting the creature advantage. I guess maybe not even the bear specifically, but getting that creature advantage.
Yeah, the vampire.
Enough because you could, like we said, team up with your Wolverine and your bear to knock the Tomb Guardian out of the way and hit the mage.
You need to roll better, Jason.
I mean, there were a couple of key moments where average damage from Jason would have swayed things.
Mm-hmm.
He rolled significantly under with that meteor that could have killed the bear.
Also true.
That was a huge moment. You're absolutely right.
And I won't call this a counterpoint, but to go along with that, though, Jason is right. The Cobra Reflexes did do quite a bit of work for him as well.
Yeah, it did. So, the Cobra Reflexes was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I wonder how many succeeded out of.
I don't know that it would be quote evened out, but I think that it's even enough that I'm not. Oh man, this was such a good
I want to say it probably succeeded like 6 out of 9 times, something like that.
I'd have to go back and count it. It was really worth its mana for this game for sure.
I think it was definitely at least a +1 or +2.
Yeah,
I don't think it was like crazy, but
so on the other side, the deflect from the base Forcemaster is still garbage.
Yeah, it's because nobody can roll
It's the same roll. That's what's so funny about it. It's like they kept taking the roll, on Cobra.
It's because it knew that Puddnhead was going to watch this game.
Yeah,
and so it never worked.
It's really funny.
That's why everybody should run 1 zombie brute, because I will watch the game at some point. And because of that, your zombie brute will roll 100.
That's a weird thing in the universe. Oh man, I don't know that I have a lot. Like, there's no real criticisms here. It's more of, like I said, in hindsight, we can make moves that would have worked. Strictly because we know what happens.
We kept talking about little things.
It was,
if the Lotus attacked that Forcemaster, what would
it's true. That could have been. That could have also done it. What would he have revealed the force field for that?
Yeah, right.
Because in hindsight, if he had done that, there would be no Wall of Thorns push.
Yeah, you'd have 10 mana suddenly to be like, well, okay, can we recover better now?
Yeah, because that turn he had 2 mana.
Mm-hmm.
So the Wall of Thorns double push wouldn't have worked. Maybe he would have rolled well enough on the first push that wouldn't have mattered. But like, you can run down all kinds of branches with that one, which is an interesting one to look at.
Yeah.
Man, this was extremely well played on both sides. I like the way both books were designed too. We've seen this Forcemaster before, at least I have, and I'm always a fan of it. Jason's Beastmaster book, on the other hand, I have not seen, and I really liked it.
Oh wow, he was ready for a lot. Oh, a bad.
He had options built in, and I like the way he went with the bigger dudes to combat this, because that's going to be what he's up against. That's a cool way to play. Like, I like this book.
He could have dealt with that force field with Spray of Barbs really nicely.
That's true. He could have done that, or he could have. Did he have any more dispels? Yeah, he had 1 more dispel, which he could have spent all his mana on. But
yeah,
I think that's the point. I think Spray of Barbs is an important option there.
The other option is Stranglevine.
Stranglevine that gets around it. You're right.
Yeah, that might have been. It's again too little, too late. But
there's a lot of options that Jason had.
Yeah, I like the way this book is designed. It's really well made. He didn't end up using any of the bear strengths. I guess he didn't really need to with these things. Like those roll enough dice on their own that waste.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it using the mana on those may not have been necessary.
I almost wonder if the join strength would have been a good play, just because Juli spent so much time trying to kill the mage that like maybe
That
I
the
don't know.
transfer
Maybe,
wouldn't have happened, maybe.
well, the transfer wouldn't have mattered because the creatures weren't even really being attacked. You know.
The only problem is that when you get to late game, like they were at, where Jason has, I don't know, 35 health out of 36. The
that's fair.
one stray shot kills you.
That's fair too. Yeah.
So you run the risk. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but be aware of that risk exists. Like,
yeah.
oh no, he hit my bear and now I die. So I may not have been the bear, but you get the idea.
I wonder if Juli reveals his book. 24 cards. Damn.
Yeah, he didn't have that much left, but then again, he got used at it. Like, this is an example of specialization, right? This book is extremely specialized and does it extremely well, as opposed to being some kind of a wide strategy, right, where you're prepared for a lot of different things.
I mean, it's turn 17. That's really impressive for this kind of book to keep up that long.
It has enough things that it tries to play the same. I wouldn't call it the same game, but a similar game each time it plays, and it does it so well that it forces you to try to keep up with it.
Wow, he runs Meteorite, Surging Wave, Force Hammer, then 3 Barbs. That's interesting.
I like it.
Yeah, me too. No Force Pushes too. Wow.
Now that's interesting to me, but what does he got? Lesser
Teleport.
Mr. Teleport, and I think he had a. That's it.
Yeah.
No, he had another.
Oh, he has another. Yeah, I like to run 2 teleports myself as well, or at least 2. Sometimes I'll run a couple more, but of the lesser variety.
Well,
yeah, no, that's a good game. Congratulations to you for moving on.
Before I close it out, any last words from either of you?
Nope. Congrats! I'm really excited to see the championship game. These 2 are going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just so those who are watching later understand which video it is, who do we have in the championship, Coach Shade?
Well, we haven't revealed that video yet, so I don't want to spoil it. But we will be doing the other semifinal game, which is Keegan versus I think it's pronounced Elithus. Elithus.
Scarlet's what they signed up
Scarlet. Yeah, right. So we'll be doing that. One of those 2 will be advancing to the championship match. Jason is knocked out, but he will be playing one more match for 3rd place against the loser, of course, Keegan and Elithus, and then the winner plays Juli in the championship match.
Nice.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys. We have this all in a playlist. I just want to point out that this is a public play testing right now for a lot of these new cards. So if you want to play test, we're wrapping it up pretty soon. I know we've been saying this for a while, but like I feel like we just keep coming back, just being like, well, maybe we should extend it. That's because we want to make it as good as we can get. So
if you're watching this after like July 2021, then you probably don't have time to reach it.
But
between now and then.
But yeah, this is a playtesting tournament designed to help out. The idea is that if you can break the cards, you can get a trophy by winning the whole thing. So all around, I would say this is just a really good match. And I do want to point out that even though we didn't see a lot of new cards, Jason had that +1 channel from his Beastmaster.
That's another big change.
And it's been 17 rounds. That's 17 extra mana. So think about how different this game would be without that. Anyway,
we did get to see the Wolverine too.
Yeah,
did
that is
some cool stuff.
Yeah, we've seen that in Octagon, but yeah, as a promo coming out for sure, big card.
Yep.
And that's kind of the reason why we're not really touching him.
He's good.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. See you next time.